Hey guys, this is William Davis. I am the communications associate at the Immigration Reform Law Institute, and I'm joined by Jason Hopkins, Immigration Reform Law Institute's chief investigator. Jason, did I get your title right?
Yeah, sure did. Yeah, investigations manager. Yeah. Appreciate you
And
having me out here.
Jason, you have recently written a bit of an expose, an article about how Joe Biden and his administration are sort of stealthily planning to abolish ICE. Can you explain how are they doing that?
Yeah, absolutely. Which, of course, the phrase "abolish ICE." That's very toxic. I think people on the far left and others have realized the American public does not want to just flat out abolish ICE. But what we have here is where the Biden administration has figured out to just effectively abolish ICE without doing it officially. Well, you see, going back to right at the very beginning of the Biden administration, they put out that 100-day deportation moratorium. So just no deportations in the first 100 days. They tried to launch that right out the gate. For those who followed, they may remember that that got scuttled basically in the courtroom, but that hasn't deterred them. I mean, the numbers speak for themselves. In fiscal year 2021, the Biden administration's first year in office, you had only 59,011 deportations, aliens who were removed from the country. For perspective, in the previous fiscal year in 2020, Trump's last year, you had 185,884 deportations. So this is a huge decrease. And I mean, again, the numbers don't lie. And this isn't even dramatically so when you think about those first few months of fiscal year 2021. We were still under the Trump administration, and you had 28,000 deportations then. So, I mean, even makes it even more dramatic, the decrease that's happened. So that's what we're seeing, and I know we're going to talk about the memo that was just issued.
Yeah, you mentioned it. It seems like sort of the ringleader of this effort is a new Biden appointee by the name of Carrie Doyle. Can you tell us a little bit about Miss Doyle?
Right, exactly. And the memo that was issued, there was a memo issued this month by Carrie Doyle. She's the principal legal advisor of ICE. That makes her basically the top prosecutor in all deportation cases that ICE works on. And she issued a memo to all ICE attorneys, basically telling them to dismiss cases whenever they feel it's necessary. If it's a non-priority case, dismiss them. Why do we think this is really just going to be a pretext for ICE agency under the Biden administration to just effectively never deport anybody?
Right.
Is because of Carrie Doyle's background. Some of it's been reported, the other details Early's uncovered ourselves of Doyle's past. She is a career immigration attorney. She's been working as an immigration attorney in the Boston area for a number of years. And she's essentially an immigration open borders activist as well. She's spoken numerous times to the Massachusetts legislature and also to the Boston City Council, the city where she's based out of. And to give you an idea of her thoughts of ICE, she said 2020 speech in support. She spoke out in support of the Safe Communities Act, which that was legislation that would effectively made Massachusetts a statewide sanctuary city, right? So sanctuary, so-called sanctuary city across the state. The officials would not be able to cooperate with ICE to any large degree. Then now so that gives you an idea of her thoughts of ICE cooperation. And in that same speech, she did refer to ICE as an agency, quote, that is out of control. And that's not a one-off. In 2019, Early uncovered a speech that she gave to the Boston City Council, where she described ICE as, quote, a tool of almost terror, end quote, to the immigrant community. She's spoken out against, in Boston, they have what's called the Boston Regional Intelligence Center. It's a database of suspected gang members. She had a huge problem that this was being shared with ICE. For some reason, we don't want ICE to know who might be suspected or actual gang members in the community. So I bring all that to say, this is who's leading ICE's legal division. This is someone who, we can fairly say is not a fan of ICE.
Yeah.
Here she is. She's been described as an arsonist who's now leading the fire department. And I think that's a very apt description of her, someone who does not like the agency, who's now in charge of deporting individuals. Do we think criminals, illegal aliens will be prioritized and deported under this administration with her aboard? I don't think so.
Yeah. Right. And this seems to be like a pattern with them. Like they keep putting these people who hate, law enforcement in charge of these immigration law enforcement authorities. I mean, it's just like it seems like they're trying to like, tear apart the system from within.
It absolutely is. I mean, she's the latest in a long line of individuals who've shown apprehension to enforcing immigration law. We just recently had the successful nomination and appointment of Chris Magnus to Customs and Border Protection. He has no immigration experience. He has no federal experience, but this is a guy who's been a career cop who has spoken out avidly against any sort of cooperation with federal immigration authorities. I mean, he's written op-eds about it. Early's uncovered emails where he's shown umbrage with cooperating with ICE. If anyone remembers the tragic death of Kate Steinle, Magnus, we've uncovered, he was touting an op-ed that said, in the wake of Steinle's death, no, we shouldn't react to this by cooperating more with ICE. I mean, this is who's leading Biden's immigration agenda. It's very scary.
It's really unbelievable. But unlike Magnus, I mean, like Doyle's appointment was able to fly pretty under the radar because, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but she's not in a Senate confirmed position. So she didn't even have to be evaluated by anybody but Biden and his people to take the job.
That's correct. Lucky for her, she did not have to go through any sort of Senate confirmation process. She just got to be appointed by the administration. Lucky for her, because she's got a laundry list of past statements and actions. She's not a good fit for this position. I mean, she is a anti-ICE activist who is now leading a very important position in ICE.
Yeah, and I just wonder, how is this gonna play out? What's gonna be the fallout from all of these people that are being appointed to destroy our immigration agencies? Like, what is that going to lead to? What are these agencies going to look like when this administration is finished? I mean, I don't even know. I mean, it could be, what do you think? I mean, it seems like there could be a lot of big fallout from all this.
Oh, yes, absolutely. We're already seeing the trajectory of this, and it's only going to be exacerbated, right? I mean, talking about deportations from 2020 to 2021, a roughly 70% decrease in deportations. And we're talking about interior enforcement there when we're discussing ICE and deportations. I'm sure most everyone has seen the news about our southern border. We're seeing more apprehensions, more apprehensions by CBP than we've seen in the agency's history. I know they're talking about it as far as individuals. I mean, at least since the year 2000. So, I mean, over 20 years. So record level highs of illegal aliens entering the country. And I mean, record level lows of those who are actually being apprehended by ICE and being removed, those who should not be here. So we're seeing the result of this. It's only going to get worse. I mean, this is truly a historical presidency, a record-setting presidency and administration as far as immigration goes. And these are not good record sets at all.
Yeah. Well, I mean, with Title 42 ending and everything, I mean, it's just I'm an optimistic guy, but there doesn't seem to be a lot of room for optimism here. It seems like things are going to get a lot worse before they can start getting better. But
no. The only thing we can do here at Early Immigration Reform Law Institute is to hold them accountable, uncover these details, and show the public.
Absolutely, we'll keep doing it. Thanks, Jason. Thank you for joining today. And you can read Jason's article at the bottom of our YouTube page, and I encourage everybody to go check it out. Thanks, Jason.